normal people. Was the book or TV series better? Let's dive in and decide. Let's start with the differences between the characters from the page to the screen. First up, we have Maryanne Sheridan, played by Daisy Edgar Jones. In the book, Maryanne is described as ugly with crooked teeth, whereas in the series, she is beautiful and has straight teeth. As the years progressed in the novel, Maryanne got thinner and thinner. In the series, Edgar Jones maintains the same physique as the story progresses. Next up is Connell Waldron, played by Oscar nominee Paul Mescal. In the book, he is described as being tall with dark hair and a hard-looking face. In the series, Mescal matches much of this description. However, he's of average height compared to those around him. In both the book and the series, he is reserved and shy throughout his pre-college days. We also have Lorraine Waldron, Connell's single mother, played by Sarah Green. In the book, she has blonde hair and a soft face without edges. Connell's schoolmates find her attractive. In the series, Green has dark hair, but a similar face to her book counterpart. In both the novel and the adaptation, she is very close to Maryanne and almost acts as a surrogate mother to her. Frank Blake plays Alan Sheridan, Maryanne's brother. In the book, there isn't much of a physical character description for him. He is verbally and physically abusive to his sister. He is insecure and socially awkward, and he tries hard to be well-liked. In the series, Blake brings this exact character to life. And lastly, let's talk about Denise Sheridan, Maryanne and Alan's mother, played by Ashlyn McGuckin. Some fans consider her to be an antagonist of the story. In the book, she is detached, a widowed mother who is successful thanks to her law career. She is a helpless character who watches silently as her son physically and mentally abuses her daughter. There isn't much of a difference between the way the characters are in the novel and the adaptation, with both letting all these bad things happen to Maryanne without any real care. Now let's talk about the biggest story changes between the book and the TV show. One major difference is that in the show, the team opted to focus mostly on Maryanne and Connell's relationship, with the side characters changed up to support that narrative. In the series, Connell's relationship with Helen paints her as a stereotypical annoying girlfriend. She frequently brings up Maryanne, and when Connell finally confronts his mental health struggles, Helen ends things with him. The novel gives her a bit more nuance. She's portrayed as a more traditional person, and Connell even feels that she helps him be a better version of himself. And don't even get me started on that cringeworthy makeout between Connell and Miss Neary outside the club. In the book, their almost hookup crosses uncomfortable boundaries. It's murky and veers into non-consensual territory. Clearly, I'm not the only one who felt that way. Maryanne did too. In the novel, she even threatens to kill Miss Neary if she goes near Connell again. But in the show, that whole bit gets erased. Maryanne never finds out. When it comes to Maryanne, the show generally does a good job of portraying her relationships, except when it comes to Lucas. In the book, he and Maryanne both seem pretty detached from each other, but the show adds a disturbing layer, making it feel like Lucas needs her not just sexually, but creatively, as if she's his muse. Then again, every guy Maryanne dates who isn't Connell gives off that same uncomfortable vibe. Helen and Lucas aren't the only characters with different arcs in the series. Joanna is another one. She is a more complete character in the novel. She's really the only remaining friend from Maryanne's time at Trinity College, and she corresponded with Maryanne almost as much as Maryanne corresponded with Connell. Joanna's partner, Evelyn, was completely removed from the series. Another major change is how Maryanne and her family's relationship is portrayed. The series does a striking job of portraying the strained relationship between Maryanne and her mother. Honestly, it felt even more heartbreaking on screen than I remembered reading in the book. However, one significant piece of the family dynamic that's noticeably underdeveloped is Maryanne's relationship with her brother, Alan. In the novel, Alan is far from a supportive sibling. He regularly belittles and intimidates Maryanne, both emotionally and physically, as a way of dealing with the loss of their father. The show briefly touches on the family's history of abuse when Maryanne confides in Connell late one night, revealing that their father used to hit their mother. Alan continues this cycle of violence, lashing out at Maryanne by dumping dirty dishwater on her and slamming doors in her face. Had the show delved deeper into Maryanne's relationship with Alan and the trauma she endured at home, viewers who haven't read the book might better understand some of her reactions, especially in the context of her relationships with men. It's a missing layer that could have added even more emotional weight to her character. And we also have to talk about that ending. In the novel, Connell kisses Maryanne and says that he loves her. She says nothing and goes through an internal dialogue about Connell redeeming her and how he purposefully brought her to the bar for some PDA. In the series, though, Maryanne actually responds to Connell and says she loves him back, which was the first and only time throughout the series that she says it. The bar scene also plays out differently. Maryanne is received warmly by everyone in attendance in the series, whereas in the novel, she isn't given much attention. Now, let's talk about what the series got right and what it got wrong. One of the main strengths of the adaptation is its faithful adaptation of the source material. Sure, there were some changes here and there with certain plot lines, modified for the sake of TV drama. But the writers of the series, which included original author Sally Rooney, managed to mirror her novel quite closely. There is incredible character growth for Maryanne and Connell through the ups and downs and struggles from their high school days to the end of their undergraduate studies. The series may feel a bit fast-paced, but it does manage to cover over 200 pages of the book, with the focus of the plot never really shifting away from the two lovers. Another major strength is the production value of the series, from the stunning cinematography to the captivating acting by its leads. Edgar Jones and Mescal's portrayals are so honest that one may feel like they're watching the most private and intimate moments of two real people and not fictional characters. Edgar Jones managed to really capture Maryanne's unique blend of strength and vulnerability, while Mescal really embodied the alienated and self-conscious characteristics of Connell. However, as much as the series had its strengths, it did have a few weaknesses too. One major weakness with the series was its pacing problems and time jumps. The novel handled the time jumps in between periods of these characters' lives with relative ease. However, the show at times really struggled to effectively transition between these time frames, which often led to some pacing issues, especially in the latter half of the series. Which brings me to another weakness, that the series didn't always convey the characters' thoughts and psychological richness. The book's strength lies in its ability to give readers access to the characters' deepest and most intimate thoughts and feelings. The adaptation, while having strong performances, does not fully capture the internal world of these characters. This sometimes diminishes the emotional impact for viewers who love that psychological richness. The novel actually relied heavily on Maryanne and Connell's unspoken thoughts and emotions to explore the coming-of-age theme that Rooney explored so well. And that's just hard to translate to the visual medium, like TV, making it difficult sometimes to fully grasp the characters' motivations and their inner struggles. So, which one wins, the book or the TV series? For me, the series wins. The team behind the show managed to bring Sally Rooney's novel to life in such a thoughtful and smart way. The memorable performances by Daisy Edgar-Jones and Paul Mescal really elevate the source material, even if it cut out the beauty of the novel's introspective nature. But what do you think? Did the adaptation do the book justice, or are you a book purist? Let me know down in the comments, because I'm dying to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And I'll see you next time right here on Collider.